Hey guys, it is Carl Brown for GuitarLessons365.com. Well, I'm going to do a tribute to Chris Cornell here and show you guys how to play Spoon Man and a few other of his tunes over the next couple of days. So I hope you guys enjoy. He's a great artist and it's a huge loss, so it's a big bummer. But we'll celebrate his music here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to learn how to play Spoon Man all the way through. You need to get your guitar in drop D tuning. So if you don't know what that is, the notes will be in the description. However, all it really is taking your low E string and tuning it down a whole step to D. All right, and that's all you need to do, and you're good to go, and you can play power chords with one finger, and life is grand. So let's start here with this main riff. All right, so we're going to start with the 10th fret bar across the bottom three strings. And then you're going to hammer on the bottom three strings of the 12th fret with your third finger. Then back down to the 10. So I did a hammer, I hit that 3 times after I did the ham, back down to the 10, and then what we're going to do is really quickly grab the 12 again, right before he slides down to the 7th fret. You're going to really quickly, it's kind of hard to hear on the recording, but you hear them grab the 12th fret again, so it looks like this. Then go down to the 5th fret. So this with. And then once again, we're going to grab, after we're at the 5th fret, we're going to hit 7 really quick before we get down to the 3rd fret. So we have this. It's easier to kind of comprehend in the context of the riff. So after you take that 7 real quick, go down to the 3, then the open bottom 3 strings, just those, and then you hammer you play the 3rd fret, hammer on 5 of those 3 strings. Hit that a couple times, and then the open strings muted, palm muted down here. 3 downstrokes. We have this all together, nice and slow. All right. So when he starts, the vocals come in. He does basically the very beginning of the riff and pauses. But he does that quick 12 and come down to 5 real quick and just hold that. Then we go back into the riff. Then another pause here, so it's back to the riff. All right, then we get to the chorus, really fun to play. It looks like this. All right, so we're starting with just pull-offs between 5 and 3 from 5 down to 3 on the low E string. So you basically do that a couple times, and then you go 5, 3, 0, like this, and then back 5, 3. So we have this all together. Then you're going to jump up to the D string and pull off 5 to 3 on the D string. And then over on the A string, you pull off 5, 3, 0. You can pick that open A if you want. So we have this all together. So up to speed. back to the main riff. Alright, so it just keeps moving. It's a really fun song to play. Now we have guitar solo at about the, well, whatever the guitar solo comes in. Now there's a little riff that happens that intros the guitar solo. So before I get that, I'll show you that riff. The riff looks like this. And then the full guitar solo comes in while he's playing. So that riff is basically that 5-3 pull off, but over on the A string now. So we get that 5-3, 5-3 pull off, and then 5-3-0. Then we hold the power chord here at the 3rd fret across the bottom 3 strings. Then we do that same lick again, but this time end with the 5th fret power chord. So we have this. There's a little, which we'll take a look at in a second. So it's just like that, looks like this. And then back to the riff underneath the solo. All right, now Kim Theo's solo is pretty crazy, like all of his solos. He's got a real knack for creating like solos that sound very chaotic, but you can almost hum them though. It's just a kind of a strange thing. But anyway, so this one is got some interesting licks in it, and just kind of where he's going is what's basically there are definitive licks within it, and that's what you need to focus on. The other parts of it, I can show you the scale forms he's just kind of running across. It's just kind of how he does it live. Some of it's kind of improvised, and some of it's kind of not. It's kind of hard to explain. But let me just play through it real quick. It looks like this. So now let's start with these opening little licks. So coming in between the, we have this one. This has a quick little hammer on between 10 and 12 on the D string. And then you're gonna hold the 10th fret on the B string there, and the 12th fret on the G, and when you can pick those two together, and then bend up the 12th fret to make it a unison bend. And then that's just hammering 10 to 12 on the G, then the same thing on the D, over to 10 on the A. So this. Next lick starts the same way after doing this. So we start with the same hammer 10, 12 on the D, and that unison bend, but now from there we go hammer 10 to 12 on the G, then go 12, 10, 13 on the B, and into a bend at the 13th fret, and then into a unison bend, which is holding the 10th fret on the high E string, and then bending up the 13th fret on the B string at the same time. So we have this so far. All right, from there we have this lick. So that's playing the 10th fret on the high E string into a bend at the 13th fret. Release, and then he's basically going through this D minor pentatonic scale. You don't want to hit that low string though. So D minor pentatonic, and he's just trilling across these strings between the 10 and 13 on the high E, then the 10 and 13 on the B, and the 10 and 12 on the G. So if you know your pentatonic shapes, hopefully you do. If you don't, go to guitarlessons365.com and I'll get you in shape there. So we have, and you're going to end that little lick just going trilling across those strings by doing a oblique bend, holding the 13th fret there on the B string, and then bending up the 12th fret on the G. And then he just goes down just kind of hitting each note a couple of times, going 10, 12, 12, 10 on the G, 12, 10 on the D, and then back to that D on the note, the 12th fret on the D string, and just doing a long bend there. And then coming back with a 10, 12, and a bend on the G. So far we have this. All right, now after that we have this. All right, so that's you're gonna do a bend at the 12th fret on the G string and grab the 13 on the B. Then to do the same lick, but we're gonna bend at the 13 on the B and grab 13 on the high E string. And then that's kind of the same little trilling down through the D minor pentatonic into that unison, that oblique bend again. So. All right, and then we have the end of the solo looks like this. All right, so he's kind of, there's not a, when he's playing these three notes, he's playing 14, 12, 11. He doesn't hit each one like a normal, it's just kind of erratic. So he's not going straight through it, you know? A good way of maybe getting it is like 14 twice, and then 12, 11, and doing that 3 times. End it with 12, 10 on the D, into that same oblique bend we did earlier again. And then you get a huge 2 whole step bend at the 13th fret on the B string. Yep. That's gonna cause trouble if you don't have big houses. So we it's at 13th fret. You want it to sound like that note. And release. All right, so yeah, that's the end of the solo. So, but it's got a you know, kind of erratic, but yet you can kind of piece it together and make it sound like he does. And obviously, there's usually a lot of effects going on with his solos too. So, you know, kind of do what you want with it, really. All right, so what do we have left here? We have the end of the drum solo, the 3-minute and 19 mark. There's a little guitar riff, which is kind of similar to what we did coming into the solo. It looks like this. Into the main solo, the main riff again. So we have. So that's that. The same thing we did earlier before that going into the solos is pulling off 5 to 3, then again, and then pulling off 5, 3, 0. Then grabbing 5 on the D string, pulling off the 3, pull 5, 3 on the A string, and then 5, 3, 0 on the low E, or D string as it is right now. Do that 4 times. And then we're back to the, and then back to the same thing we did at the earlier in the song. Now at the very end of the song, he's doing the main riff where he pauses. And you just come back up here. It's just kind of doing that hammer, doing the beginning of that main riff and just sliding it down after it. All right, so it's a cool song, really fun to play as soon as you get all these riffs together because they just kind of keep moving and they have a really, you know, a lot of energy behind them and some cool pull-off licks and all that stuff. It's always fun to do. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.